What is up, you big greasy bastards? It's your boy Rico here, back at it again with yet another video. And on today's video, I'm going to be talking about the time that I smoked meth. But before we get into that, make sure you drop a big fat thumbs up and subscribe, because videos like that do not get pushed into the algorithm very much. But today we're talking about the time I smoked meth. Now, I don't think it was meth. I don't know if it was. I don't know what it was. Like, I'm just gonna pretend it's meth for the sake of this video, judging by the person who I was smoking with. So back in the day, I was one of those people that used to smoke lots of weed, and I still do. I smoke a ton of weed. But back when I was in, high school, and when I was like 16, 17, I would fiend for that shit. Like, I would literally scrape resin out of my bong. What I'm trying to say is I used to be a fiend for weed. And I also wasn't a very smart kid. Yeah, I ended up going to this guy's house, and I should have thought better. We're just gonna name this guy Jason. Now, Jason had face tattoos. He was 15 years old at the time. He was like a year younger than me at the time. He had face tattoos that looked like a skeleton's face. So his eyes were blacked out, and he had fucking, this shit was looking like a skeleton's face, and he had like little things right here on his goddamn nose. He said he was an aspiring tattoo artist, and when I was a kid, I was an idiot. Like, I had never lived in a big city. The town that I grew up in only had 1,000 people in it. So, you can only imagine what it's like living in those circumstances. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was used like a fleshlight between the ages of fucking 16 and 19. But, I saw this guy. He said he's an aspiring tattoo artist, and he said he wants to smoke some dope. And I'm like, yo, word, free weed? He's gonna smoke some dope with me? So I pop by. He tells me he wants to ride to the gas station. I give him a ride to the gas station. And then he goes to somebody's car, and he's sitting in there for like half an hour. I don't think much of it until I look over. I look over, and I see this guy is sitting there twirling a pipe 10 to 2. And if you don't know what that means, he's smoking that fucking good stuff. He's got a crack pipe in his mouth. But where I live, it's more than likely meth. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay. And at this point, I wish I would have brought my bong, and I wish I would have not even came there in the first place. But at this point, I also just wanted to get stoned, because it has been a lot, like 2 days at this point since I got stoned. And now, while I'm sitting there, I get out of my car, I go into the gas station, get a goddamn drink, and then I go back in. But this guy eventually goes into my car, and then we skirt off to his house. And I don't really think too much of it. I don't think too much of that situation. I'm like, hey man, yeah, maybe he likes a little bit of methamphetamines on the side. Or maybe he likes a little bit of crack on the side. Maybe he just wants to, hang out with somebody and do, twirl a little bull. I'm not about to judge the guy. So, we pull up to his crib, and we go inside, and we're all chilling. We make some hamburgers, we eat our snacks, we put on a movie, do whatever, right? There's me, him, his cousin, and his dad there. And him and his dad are tweakers. Like, I'm serious, they're straight up tweakers. And, they said, yeah, you said you want to smoke some dope, hey? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to smoke some dope. When I think of the word dope, I think of weed. That's what I was always thinking of. I think of weed. Like, dope as YOLO, like, shit like that. Like, that's what I think of the word dope. So, they, end up pulling out this bag of, Walter White, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I may look like I smoke methamphetamines, but I definitely do not, right? So, I look at this guy, I'm telling him, no, that's not what I was saying. And he's like, okay, I'll go get you some kush. So he goes and grabs this bag, and it's like white and powdery. It's like white, like almost white weed, right? Like, I don't know if it was moldy and it just made me have a psychedelic effect, or if it was like that fucked up and that like covered in fucking drugs, where I don't know. But this guy gives me this bag. He grinds it up and he fucking gives me the grinder. And I fucking grab his bong. And I don't know if it could have been a bong. That's what I'm thinking. But he gives me this bong and I take a hit and I'm just feel this fucking head rush that I've never felt before. And I usually, like, especially at the time, I used to put tobacco in my weed. So I didn't think much of it at first until the head rush went to my heart. And then that heart rush went to my lungs. And then I fucking was vibrating all over my body. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I feel like that day I smoked meth. And I stayed up for like fucking 27 hours. Not feeling very good, man. Like, I felt like I was jittery. I was fucking anxious and all that stuff. So, basically, a couple hours after that, I was like, hey man, I got work in the morning, I gotta go. That was a fucking lie. I was unemployed at the time. But I just said, yeah, I got work, I gotta go. And then I opened the door and left. But that's the time I smoked meth. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like below. This is Rico signing out. Deuces.